Hey guys, Pastor Brandon here. Welcome to the digital gathering. This is a new resource that we're putting out every week just with some short videos as we examine the book of Habakkuk together. And while I would much rather spend my Wednesdays with you together at the gathering, during this interim season, we're trying to put together some just quick videos and opportunities for us to engage with one another through a digital medium. And so each week, these will be available to you. They'll drop at 11 a.m. right here and be available for you to watch anytime. But then also they'll be available for you to share and also to discuss with community groups together. So here's our first session. Where is God in a national crisis? So Habakkuk is a prophet ministering in the midst of a national crisis in Judah sometime around 600 BC. And he's watching the power of wicked invading nations bearing threats upon this small nation. Habakkuk is unique because of how forthright he is in his dialogue with God. The book of Habakkuk is actually framed around his complaints to God. So if you are feeling that way right now, you're in good company. It's kind of like reading his personal prayer journal during this crisis. So let's look at Habakkuk 1 together. The oracle that Habakkuk the prophet saw. O Lord, how long shall I cry for help, and you will not hear? Or cry to you violence, and you will not save? Why do you make me see iniquity? And why do you look idly at wrong? Destruction and violence are before me. Strife and contention arise. Let's look at the pronouns that refer specifically to Habakkuk and contrast those to what the references to the Lord here. So look, Habakkuk is the one crying for help. He is crying to the Lord violence. That word is just terror at lawlessness and great wrongdoing that he's seen. He's also seeing great iniquity and injustice that moves on to further wickedness and exploitation even of other people. Now let's look at what the Lord is doing. The Lord, Habakkuk feels, is not hearing. He sees the Lord is not saving. And he feels the Lord is just sitting idly by and looking at wrong. And so it's actually Habakkuk is actually his biggest struggle is with the fact that God is sovereign, and yet at the same time these difficult things are happening. And so the book opens with these two questions. Why is God silent, and why is he allowing these difficult things to increase? These are hard questions. They're relevant to our own issues right now. And this book begins with a godly man who is overwhelmed and frustrated, just like many of us are right now. But the book ends with him praising God, ready to press on with confidence. And that's my hope for you as you watch these videos and as we study this together. You see, the message of the book of Habakkuk is that God will do what is right and just. And at the heart of Habakkuk, in chapter 2, verse 4, is this verse that actually becomes a banner of the Christian faith, that believers live by steadfast trust in God. They live not by what their eyes can see, but the righteous live by faith, a faith that trusts God supremely. So, put your faith not in what you see around you, but in the one who holds all things and who promises to do what is just and right. These realities are even more real than what we can see before us. And this is what we hope that we can help lead one another in as we study these things together. So I want to give you two directives, one for parents and one for students. First, parents. You remember what these events feel like, right? Where the world seems to stop. They're moments that brought great upheaval and have shaped generations. Think Columbine, think 9/11, or whatever others may come to mind. Talk with your students about these moments. What did these feel like for you? What do you remember feeling? How did the world come to a stop? And did God seem distant to you in those moments? But then move on to tell them, how did God show himself faithful in those times? Students, I want to challenge you with this. I want to challenge you to articulate all the uncertainties that you're feeling and the changes you're feeling right now. I actually want you to take time to identify them, because if we don't, we can be surprised by them. I want you to make a list of your uncertainties, just like the prophet here did. But then next to them, make a list of your certainties. The prophet does this as well, and this is the cause of much of his questions right now. But bring those certainties to bear upon your uncertainties in this time. Know this for certain. God loves you, and it is his will to do what is just and right. And he desires to walk with you, to shape you into the likeness of Jesus. So trust in him supremely, in this time as in all other times. Know that you are loved, and we are here to talk with you during this time. I actually want to tell you a few ways that we're going to try to do that during this interim season. One, check back here weekly on Wednesdays for the new digital gathering video as we walk through this book together. They'll drop again at 11 a.m. here and be available for you to watch and to share and even engage with it. We'll also share some daily plans for you to help structure and bring shape to your day as you can root yourself in the Word during this time. And then lastly, we want to come together to discuss these things together in community group. And we're going to use an app that you're probably familiar with. It's called House Party. Would you follow the link just below here and download and add me on there? And I'll make sure to connect you with your community group and your community group leader. And you'll come online on Sunday nights, normal time, from 6 to 8 p.m. for you to hang out, have fun, debrief these things together, encourage one another, and then pray together during this time. You can also always direct message us here on social media or even in House Party or however else you might desire to do so. But the end of all things, know this. We love you, and God is at work. Love y'all. See you soon.